give each other advice about how to handle a thing, a situation, whatever.
Hello, sir. How do you feel about today?
Great.
There's right and there's wrong, and there's common sense and there's abuse of power.
Thoroughly vindicated.
You look like you're almost crying in tears from happiness, right?
He stood up and lost his temper and screamed across the court.
Screamed. The mask slipped.
He said, "Shame on you, Graham Chase Robinson."
Actor Robert De Niro taking the stand today as his civil dispute with a former assistant heads to trial.
So I knew that if she wanted me, she had a good reason. She was locked into that reason. She wasn't going to change her mind. Well, there's always roadblocks and challenges and uphill battles and this and that, but at the end of the day, we got it done, you know.
Well, a couple of times when Mr. De Niro was giving his testimony that the judge had to let him know to answer with a yes or a no.
NYC court battle. In the legal case that was brought between Robert De Niro and his former long-term personal assistant Graham Chase Robinson, De Niro's company, Canal Productions, was found to be liable for gender discrimination as well as retaliation against Robinson. After over 5 hours of deliberations, a jury in a federal court in New York City came to the verdict and ordered Canal, which the actor founded to take care of his business and personal requirements, to pay Robinson, 41, more than $1.26 million in damages. According to the Associated Press, De Niro, who is now 80 years old, is scheduled to make the payments in 2 installments, totaling $632,142 each. However, the 5-person jury, comprised of 4 women and 3 men, decided that he was not directly responsible for the crime. In addition, it was stated by Deadline that Robinson was exonerated of any financial misconduct throughout her 11 years of service as an employee for the recipient of an Academy Award. According to the publication, De Niro was not there for the hearing, but Robinson was there to see it.
It's about loyalty and a guy stuck in the middle of 2 people who are totally...
What else am I going to do at this point?
Hello, sir. How do you feel about today?
Great. So I knew that if she wanted me, she had a good reason. She was locked into that reason. She wasn't going to change her mind.
Actor Robert De Niro taking the stand today as his civil dispute with a former assistant heads to trial.
Questions to ask you, because you don't even really like doing talk shows that much.
No, I don't mind. Sometimes I do, depends.
Well, there's always roadblocks and challenges and uphill battles and this and that, but at the end of the day, we got it done, you know.
It was stated that she comforted one of her lawyers by hugging them after hearing the decision. "We couldn't be happier with the judge's decision. I couldn't possibly be any happier." Robinson was seen smiling through her tears as a member of her legal team told reporters outside the courthouse. Against the company Canal Productions. The case was brought against Robert De Niro's company. Not only did Miss Robinson prevail in her legal battle against Canal, but the jury also exonerated her by deciding that De Niro's allegations against her were baseless. During the 2 weeks of the trial, the star of Goodfellas testified on the witness that he berated Robinson and possibly called her petulant, snippy, and a fucking spoiled brat, but he denied yelling at her. The trial was held in New York. "I've raised my voice," he explained. "I'm sorry. I don't raise my voice. You want to argue with that, right? That's one thing you won't catch me doing." However, throughout his testimony, the actor most known for his role in The Godfather Part 2 raised his voice on multiple occasions. One of these occasions was when he confronted Robinson about the accusation that he did not pay her fairly in comparison to another male employee. He yelled out, "Every little thing she's trying to get me on is nonsense," as he examined each of her ploys. "You should be ashamed of yourself, Chase Robinson."
The Oscar-winning actor was back on the witness stand today, blasting the trial as total nonsense.
He stood up and lost his temper and screamed across the court.
Screamed. The mask slipped.
He said, "Shame on you, Graham Chase Robinson."
We're in a, this kind of situation, unfortunately. It was a long haul, but we did it, so that's a nice feeling.
Well, a couple of times when Mr. De Niro was giving his testimony that the judge had to let him know to answer with a yes or a no.
Well, it took a lot of work to do.
Thoroughly vindicated.
You look like you're almost crying in tears from happiness, right?
I don't care if they chase you away. You tell the officer, what's the matter with you?
Give each other advice about how to handle a thing, a situation, whatever.
There's right and there's wrong, and there's common sense and there's abuse of power.
He continued by saying that additional claims of gender-based discrimination were ridiculous. In addition, De Niro admitted that his girlfriend, Tiffany Chen, might have been saying rude things about Robinson, but he suggested that it was okay because Robinson was the one who started the disrespectful behavior. Robinson started working at Canal in 2008, and by the time she abruptly departed the company in April 2019, she had risen to the position of Vice President of Production and Finance there. In that role, she was authorized to sign off on extravagant expenditures without prior permission. After that, Canal initiated legal action against her in August of that year, seeking $3 million in damages on the grounds that she had allegedly misused and stolen cash. 2 months later, Robinson gave back the favor by filing a lawsuit for $12 million, citing adultism, physical harassment in the workplace, and other forms of discrimination against women. Creepy and abusive behavior. Robert De Niro, the raging bull, has been accused of subjecting an employee to unwanted touching, physical behavior, and lewd jokes about his Viagra prescription. Graham Chase Robinson, a 37-year-old executive assistant at Canal Productions, claims that she was routinely demeaned and abused by the actor, including in vicious voicemails where he railed that her job was fucking history and called her a spoiled brat. The $12 million lawsuit cites the #MeToo movement against physical harassment and old-school physical behavior, charging that De Niro still operates with that mindset. Robinson began working for the Hollywood legends Canal Productions as an executive assistant in 2008, but says she was forced to resign in April after rising to the position of Vice President of Production and Finance. The company has separately sued her for embezzling money. Robinson claims that the Goodfellas star treated her as his subpar office wife, making her do stereotypically female duties like housework. Worse, De Niro terrorized Robinson with creepy conduct, urinating during telephone calls and greeting her wearing only his pajamas or a bathrobe. De Niro's inappropriate behavior stretched beyond his interactions with Robinson, she claims. He allegedly once called a female business partner a C-word and referred to his executive assistant as the girls. She was also on the receiving end of De Niro's allegedly misogynist comments, including suggesting she could get pregnant using the sperm of a married male colleague.
Especially bears remembering these days when there's so much hostility towards unions.
So that was a great thing for us over the years to be able to rely on.
Robert De Niro, eat and die, you worthless piece of You eat and die, you worthless.
Because he just left federal court after being on that stand all day today. He said nothing as he was walking out of the building.
Yeah, the car was done. Thanks, guys.
As actors, we don't take victory laps. We're too worried about what our next job will be.
In one instance, after discussing anti-workplace discrimination policies with Robinson, he allegedly referred to another employee and joked, "Who do you think we can have physically harass that person?" the suit says. When he wasn't kidding, however, De Niro was known to explode into expletive-filled tirades, according to court papers. The 19-page lawsuit includes a link to a 51-second recording of a voicemail she claims De Niro once left her when she didn't pick up her phone. "You effing don't answer my calls. How dare you? You're about to be fired. You're effing history," he seethes in an undated message. The alleged voicemail is used to support the claim that De Niro expected Robinson to be on call 24/7, meaning she worked longer hours than her male colleagues, clocking in 11-hour days with no meal breaks, but still got paid less, the suit claims.
I'm hoping this will really kickstart my movie career.
Is this all you have to do in your life? You write these kind of things?
I can imagine some of you are saying, all right, let's not get into the politics and all that stuff.
And it's a real thrill to be with all of you here tonight in New York City.
I have to say something. And I thought I said it pretty well to Variety the other day, so I'm going to quote myself. Said some wonderful, beautiful things. I was
I mean, I didn't even know what to say.
It's up to the audiences to decide if it's entertainment, the critics to decide if it's good.
You're the inspiration for her being the type of actor that she wanted to be.
She went and sat down with him, had a nice conversation. She came home, she goes, I met the nicest man tonight. His son's an actor, I think.
When she demanded to be paid equally, Robinson claims De Niro invoked gender-laden stereotypes and implied that a male breadwinner deserved more pay than Miss Robinson, a woman without children. In August, De Niro and his company sued Robinson for $3 million, accusing her of embezzlement and binge-watching Friends on the clock before abruptly quitting. But Robinson claims that suit was filed in retaliation after she made it clear she planned to sue for gender discrimination and wage violations. De Niro was enraged at the prospect of Miss Robinson bringing a lawsuit challenging his behavior, so he retaliated and struck first. Robinson says De Niro's suit, which also alleges she blew through the star's frequent flyer miles for personal trips, was intended to tarnish her reputation and undermine her claims. Canal falsely accused Miss Robinson of doing things that she had never done, and repeatedly claimed that Miss Robinson had engaged in improper transactions, when in fact, De Niro himself had approved those transactions, Robinson's complaint states. Robinson said she had long contemplated quitting, but De Niro would use his influence over her as one of Hollywood's leading actors, telling her he would give her a bad recommendation if she split. Now, Robinson is unemployed and her career has been destroyed, the suit claims. De Niro's bad behavior has been on display before, such as snapping at the media and calling them scumbags at a hearing in his divorce battle with estranged wife, Grace Hightower.
We as actors don't do it all alone. We can't do it alone.
When she was on the show the other night, she said, ask him the difference between a cold martini.
It's over the top.
Okay, enough. You guys get enough shots.
Not really. We'll just stop already, huh?
Hey, tough guy, how are you?
Robinson's lawsuit claims that De Niro allowed Hightower and his unidentified paramour to target Miss Robinson based on her gender and create a hostile work environment for her, including disparaging her and assigning her demeaning job duties based on her gender. A lawyer for Hightower said she had no comment. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.